Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. On today's video we'll be making this beautiful dress with Mediterranean collar and gathers underneath. Come along guys, let's go. I'll be using 2 yards of fabric for this dress. The first thing I'm going to do is to work on the front area. So I'm going to mark 2 inch, and that 2 inch is going to be for the collar. After marking 2 inch from the beginning to the hem line where you want the gathers to start, or where you want the dress to stop if you are not adding gathers to your dress, so you mark it as a straight line. Then before you add your shoulder, you add your neckline and the body measurement. Okay, so you just go ahead and mark all the lines that you need. So I'm using 25 inch from the waist to the gown length. Okay, so I'll go ahead and mark the shoulder. After dividing your shoulder by 2, you mark whatever you have. If it's 16, you divide your 16 by 2. If it's 17, you divide by 2. So after marking it, you divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5 inches. That's what we use as the armhole line and also the chest line. Then you mark your waist measurement. There's no dart for this dress, so what you need is just your shoulder, neckline, waist, and your hip line, and also your gown length. Don't forget the armhole line. So those are the lines that we'll be needing for our dress. So I'm just going to connect the line all the way to the part I want it to stop and draw a straight line. I'm sorry, the fabric, the chalk was not showing much, so bear with me guys. Then just connect it. So follow what I'm saying and do exactly what I say and what I'm doing. Then connect that shoulder slope now down to the chest line, and you go ahead and you mark your neckline. So for the neckline, I use 3 inches for the wideness, while the depth I use 2 inches. So for the back, I'll be using 1 inch. Okay, and this part of this dress that we are making, I'm cutting 1 inch from the shoulder to make it fall on the front area. Don't worry, I will explain more when we are working on the back. So add your measurement, your bust measurement, divide by 4, add it and connect it. So if you know how to do basic bodice pattern, this is basically it. The only difference is, instead of zipper allowance for the back, we're adding 2 inch for the front for body allowance. Okay, so mark your waistline and add extra. So because the dress is not a fitted dress, I added 3 inches extra. Then for the waist area, I want it to be a bit tight, I added 2 inches. Okay, so we use 1 inch to sew the dress round and 1 inch for it. So if your client wants it to be bigger, don't worry, go ahead and add a larger allowance. So mark your armhole line for the front and connect it with your curve roller. So I'm doing that now. When I finish cutting it, you will see everything that I just marked, but because I don't even know what happened to the shop, so go ahead and connect the lines. After you are done, you go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to do just that now. I'm going to connect all the lines like I said earlier with my ruler. So do the same thing for yours. For your hip, you divide your hip by 4 and add your extra sewing allowance and ease. Okay, so if you want it to be bigger, you can add like 5 inch, let it be bigger. If you want it to be a bit fitted, just add 2.5 or 3 inch. Okay, so it depends on you, depends on how you want yours to be. But the main focus on this dress is the Mediterranean collar and the button with also the gather. So the other process are just normal method of sewing and cutting out your basic bodice pattern. So I'm going to go to the hem line and mark whatever I have on the hip line. I'm going to now add extra and connect it. Okay, so whatever I have on the hip line, I'm going to mark extra, extend it on the hem line or where I want the gathers to stop. So if you have like 15, mark 17 inches on the place you want the gathers to start from. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it now. If you're here to subscribe to our channel, this is the right time to do that. Click on the subscribe button and the notification bell below. Let's continue guys. This is it after cutting, and like I said earlier, we're going to work on the shoulder of the front. So on that shoulder, you are going to mark, come down by 1 inch and connect it. Then you see it, you come down by 1 inch and you connect it. After connecting it, take your ruler and just connect the line so that it will equal and cut it out. Don't worry, we'll be adding this 1 inch to the back. So go ahead and keep the front and open up that 2 inch if it's cut on fold that you do. If it's not cut on fold that you did for yours, like what I did for mine, you go ahead and leave it. So you place another fabric that is cut on fold for the back now, and we'll be placing the front. And for the front, you come down a bit so that you'll be able to mark the extra 1 inch that you took from the front. So for the back it's cut on fold, while for the front it's not cut on fold. Okay, do you understand? So for the back it's cut on fold, while the front is not cut on fold because we are adding button, sorry, not zip. So what you do is, don't make it equal. Take that, see what I'm doing now, I made it equal, so I'm going to drag it so that the 2 inch for the buttons will be out. Then use the other part to cut out the back. So but don't forget, we'll be adding the 1 inch to the back. So instead of using it, you see what I did, I went ahead and add 2 inch to the back. Okay, I added 2 inch to the back because remember we cut 1 inch out, and that 1 inch is the 1 inch we'll be adding, and also the normal inch. Do you get what I mean? So means the front and the back are going to have their 1 inch. So we just go ahead and connect it. Don't worry, you can work on the neckline later after you are done stitching. You'll be able to just adjust it. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut out the back and the back neckline. So when you are done stitching it up, it will be easy. Just take your scissors and correct the back neckline and it fits. Okay, so go ahead and cut out the back. I'm done cutting out the back and I'm done cutting out the front. So what you do is you are going to open up the back and front side facing front side, and you are going to stitch the shoulders. So you stitch the shoulder of the back and you stitch the shoulder of the front. It's just a normal method of sewing a collar dress. The only difference is what I did earlier. I reduced the front shoulder and increase it on the back. Okay, so added it on the back. So when your client put it on, it's going to have that shoulder slope. You'll see the flap, the back is now going to come forward instead of the dress always dragging forward. It's going to fit more. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch it. So pin it up and stitch the shoulder to shoulder together. I finished stitching the shoulder to shoulder together. This is what we have. So you can just go ahead and adjust the neckline for the back. Okay, so I'm done. It's time to work on the flap for the button. So you can just fold it the way I fold it and just iron it, then stitch. But what I love doing is I love using hemming gum for it, so it makes it a bit firm and easy to work with. So do it that way and iron it on both sides. Then when you are done, you take the total measurement of your neckline and we'll be using it to cut the Medallion collar. So I'm done stitching the flap. It's time to take the measurement of the Medallion collar. So I stitched the flap, I've ironed it so it's very firm now. So take the total measurement of your neckline. Okay, so if you have 16, you just know that your Medallion collar is going to be 16, but add 1 inch for sewing allowance on the two sides. Okay, half an inch for sewing allowance. So this is the paper I'm using for the collar, and I'm going to fold the tape that I have into two because I have 21.5. So the 21.5, after folding, mark whatever you have and come up by half an inch. Then from there you take your ruler and give it a curve to the middle of that point that you have. So I have 20 divided by 2, it was 10. Then I came up by half an inch then divide that 10 by 2, and I have 5 point something. So that is why we are connecting the half an inch to that 5 points. Then from there you go up by 1 inch. So from the half an inch you go up by 1 inch. You can cut this using folding your pattern paper into two, but I'm using one side of the pattern paper. So after connecting it with 1 inch, you are going to just take your ruler and draw a curved line. So the thing is, even when you get to that point that is half an inch, you are still using 1 inch. That is what is giving it that curve. Okay, so connect it. So I'm going to use my ruler and give it a bit of curve at the edge. So what you do is you take your tape and come in by half an inch and give it a curve by the end. So there's a part that I usually use on the curve ruler, so you can use that for yours. So okay, I'm done cutting it out and we've gotten our collar. Don't worry, I have so many videos on Medallion collar. I'm going to put that on the description. So go ahead and cut out the collar. You are going to cut out two, one for the lining piece and the other for the main fabric. So what I usually do is, you can just use stay or paper stay for one side and leave the other side. But if the fabric is light, use stay or paper stay on both sides of the collar, okay, when you are ironing, so that it will be a bit firm, not too light on the collar area. So I'm going to go ahead and use my stay to iron it on both sides before I start stitching. Okay, so I'm done ironing it with the stay. Can you see it? Now it's time to stitch. What you are going to do now is you are going to stitch on it and you're going to stitch half an inch. Okay, see where I'm pointing. You're going to take it both sides and stitch half an inch. So take your pattern and you'll be able to recognize the point. Stitch it half an inch. So after stitching, this is how it looks. Now what I usually do is, instead of just turning it and stitching, then folding it and stitch, I always use hemming gum to iron one side, so it's easier once I want to fold it and stitch. After stitching the first stitch and closing the collar, I always use hemming gum to iron half an inch. So I'll just fold it and put it in between and stitch. It is so easy. I think I should do a separate video on how I achieve that. I'm going to do a YouTube short video, like 1 minute video, and show you what I mean by that. So go ahead and pin it up, then take it to your sewing machine, stitch it the first side, then you are going to now turn it with the flap and stitch. Can you see what I did? So you just turn it and choke it in and just stitch. You see, it's very easy. This is actually the easiest method to do this. Also, you can also use hemming gum to iron both sides and put it in between and stitch. That is another easy part. So to add gathers, for those that want to add gathers, you use your waist to your calf. So if the waist to your calf is 33, you are going to now mark 25 and add extra 7 inches. So that's what I did. I marked 7 inches and I attached it to the dress. So just do a gathers or a plait. It depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to stitch everything up and show you how it looks when I'm done stitching. This is how it looks, guys. This is how it looks when I'm done stitching. Thank you so much, guys, for watching today's tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys. Have a blessed